SOFI update here on the 15th. So we had a nice move up here. And yeah, this move right here is somewhat tricky to figure out here. On this move right here, it looks like an impulse to me. The one thing that I look at a lot of time is like the timing of it too, though. And this right here, this part right here from January 13th at 8:30 to Tuesday, so basically a day. And then we spent a day of this chop right here. And now we've spent another day going higher. So it's really one day, one day, one day. Makes me think that this is actually an ABC move. I don't know if it's going to work very well with parallel lines, but the 1.61 fib is at 1565. And if you did it, even if you did this a 5-wave move, we looked at this like a 5-wave move. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is a 5-wave move. I think that we are close to the top on this move right here. So impulse or ABC move, whatever. Let's just talk about the whole move entirely. We have this ABC move down here. We already know this is A. This took, what, 15 days? Where are we at right now? We're at 13 days. 15 days takes us to the 17th. So right up here, 17th. So based on what I see, and based on like the symmetry of this move, and looking at Tesla, I really think there's probably another move down, another wave down. And it would take likely 15 days from the 17th. Takes us into early February. So I know that's not what anybody wants to hear, but likely we end over here. Maybe, look at that, we basically hit the top of this parallel line too. That's another thing that doesn't look good. So if that's the case, this could be W, this could be X, or that could be B as well. And let's say that the top is 1565. We could still come down here to 13 bucks. I don't know about 12.50. But that's not necessarily 100% correct. It could end up being, it could 100%, it could be this too. And this is a first wave up, pullback here. One thing I know for sure though is we're going to get a pullback. I don't think we're just going to go straight up here. Just continue going up here. I think that regardless, we're probably going to pull back to this gap fill right here. Maybe just this gap fill right here. Let's see. There's a gap now at 1450. So we look at retracements here. The retracement of this move, let's say we go to 1565. The 0.5 fib is a minimum. So I think we're going to at least retrace to this gap fill at 1451. And maybe come all the way back down here to 1409 if it's a first wave. So basically there's two different possibilities here. We're either finishing up a B wave, come down here, or this is a first wave. So 1 or X. If it's a first wave, we're just looking for a second wave here, and then we're off to the races to the targets that I've been laying out for a while. And probably the higher targets, probably going to 22 bucks. So how are we going to know the difference between the two? That's kind of the question now, since it's up in the air which one it is. How are we going to know this? Because if it's an impulse down, then it's likely, so if it's similar to this right here, then we're probably going to go to new lows. If we get something like this, you know, it's kind of choppy and down like this into earnings, then that's a buy the dip because that's going to be a second wave. We're not going to get a C wave that's like chopping and going sideways. We're going to get that for a second wave, and then that would be a sign that we're in a second wave and we're ready for the third wave higher. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Either one more move down or we're going to make a second wave. Either way, there's going to be a pullback here soon, back down to those gap fills. These gap fills are probably going to get filled. And let's look at the standard deviation now. Standard deviation supports it being a second wave. So I'll say that. So out of these combinations, it supports it being a second wave. Because we come all the way down here, we're going to be at -3 standard deviation. So I guess out of the two, timing-wise, this makes more sense. But just looking at how far we came down and where we're at in the chart, I'm going to say a second wave. And there's a possibility that we go up here, but I don't think so. I don't think we're going to go that high. I think we're ready to come back for a second wave. And so it's probably not a bad thing if you sold covered calls today, as long as you kept them a couple weeks out and you sold them around like 18 or 19 bucks, because I think we're ready to pull back after tomorrow or maybe early next week. We pull back here when Trump gets inaugurated and fill these gaps. So I guess looking at it in whole, just because they probably wanted to make it look weird because it would be obvious if it came down here. This is kind of a good spot in between. You kind of think, oh, it's probably going to come up here and then come back lower rather than bottom. I think we're probably at wave 1. I'll say 75% wave 1, wave 2, and I'll give it 25% for one more move down. If we look at Tesla, Tesla's in a weird spot too, and these charts go together. I think Tesla at a minimum is in a B wave. So it's either A, B, C, similar to what we would do. We would sell off, but we would not make new lows. If that's the case, then that makes Tesla wave 1 right here, wave 2 coming on the sell-off. So if SOFI goes to 12 bucks and Tesla's coming down here to 360. If SOFI pulls back to 1410 or 1450, then you can see Tesla. Let's see where this is at on Monday. On Monday, this is all the way down here on Monday. So, yeah, Tesla is probably coming back in this area right here, maybe like 390, 400, something like that. If SOFI comes back and fills the gap here at 1410 and 1450. So I guess looking at it in whole, I would say this makes the most sense. If you look at the standard deviation, or not the standard deviation, the moving averages, just see where we're at in the chart. And we are above the 20 now. That is definitely bullish. Where is the 50 at? Is it not showing up here? Okay, 50 is down here at 1480, and then where is the 200? Probably way below. Yeah, it's way below. So we're in between. We're actually above both moving averages. We're more bullish than the overall market then. But still, even if we come up here, let's say we come up here to 1660. Let's say we get a big move from here going into the end of the week. Where is the 0.5 fib from there? It is, we'd still probably come back here to 1450 and fill the gap. So, like I'm saying, even if we move here, we're coming back here to 1450. Wave 2 is likely. Let's see what happens. I see Tesla and SOFI pulling back here by at least early next week to at least 1450. So slim chance of a lower low, but wave 2 is almost definitely going to happen. That's all I got on this video. Those are the scenarios going forward. Let's see what happens from here. Maybe a little bit more upside tomorrow and through Friday, and then we'll probably pull back next week. That's it. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe for more updates, and I'll catch you in the next video.